Dear students, today we shall study about object-oriented system. This is from your syllabus unit 2nd. So, in an object-oriented system, all data is represented as discrete objects with which the user and other objects may interact. Each object contains data as well as information about the executable file needed to interpret that data. An object-oriented system allows the user to focus completely on tasks rather than tools. If we discuss about example, C is not object-oriented language. The C is a general purpose imperative language supporting structured programming. But C++ is object-oriented language. It have object-oriented programs features. Now we discuss about software evolution. Evolution of a software technology can be compared to the growth of a tree. Like a tree, the software evolution has had distinct phases, or we can say layers of growth. These layers were built up one by one over the last 5 decades. As shown in figure, each layer representing an improvement over the previous one. In software systems, each of the layers continues to be functional, whereas in the case of trees, only the uppermost layer is functional. Okay, so there are layers. First 1.0 machine language, then assembly languages, and after that procedure oriented language is developed, and finally object oriented languages are nowadays used. Since the innovation of the computers, many programming approaches have been tried. The programming approaches are modular programming, top-down programming, bottom-up programming, structured programming, and object-oriented programming. There are many programming approaches. With the advent of languages such as C, structured programming became very popular. It was the main technique of the 1980s. Now, structured programming. We shall discuss about structured programming, object-oriented programming, and procedure-oriented programming. First, structured programming was a powerful tool that enabled programmers to write moderately complex programs fairly easily. As the programs grew larger, even the structure approach failed to show the desired result in desired results in terms of bug-free, easy to maintain, and reusable programs. So This is about structural programming, and now object oriented programming OOP is an approach to program organization and development that attempts to eliminate some of the pitfalls of conventional programming methods by incorporating the best of structured programming features with several powerful new concepts. So it is a new way of organizing and developing programs. Now, before discussing object oriented programming, now we have to discuss procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming paradigm. First, we shall discuss procedure oriented programming. The conventional programming that using high level languages such as COBOL, Pascal, Fortran, and C is commonly known as procedure oriented programming POP. In the procedure oriented approach, the problem is viewed as a sequence of things to be done, such as reading, calculating, and printing. A number of functions are written to accomplish these tasks. The primary focus is on functions. So the technique of hierarchical decomposition has been used to specify the tasks to be completed for solving problem. You see here in figure the main program can be decomposed into many functions, say function 1, 2, 3, and so on, and then function 1 and 2 can be merged in function 4, like that function 2 or 3 or any in merged in function 5, and then decomposed function 4 like that 6, 7 also using function 2, and in similar way another functions. This is the typical structure of procedure oriented program. So procedure oriented program basically consists of writing a list of instructions, you can say actions, for the computer to follow, and organizing these instructions into groups. These are known as functions. We normally use a flowchart to organize these actions and represent the flow of control from one action to another. But in a multifunctional program, many important data items are placed as global. So that they may be accessed by all the functions. Global data can be accessed by all the functions. These global data can be accessed by function 1, 2, 3 and so on. And this is another global data. And each function may have its own local data also. So this diagram represents the relationship of data and functions in a procedure oriented program. Now some now some characteristics exhibited by procedure oriented programming are first emphasis is on doing things known as algorithm. There are large programs which are divided into smaller programs known as functions, and most of the functions share global data. And data move openly around a system from function to function, and functions from transform data from one form to another, and here there are employees top down approach in program design. But there are some drawbacks of POP data. Global data are more vulnerable to an inadvertent change by a function. In a large program, it is very difficult to identify what data is used by which function. This is main problem. In case we need to revise an external data structure, and we also need to revise all functions that access the data. This is very great problem here, and this provides an opportunity for bugs to creep in. And second one is it does not model real value problem very well. This is because functions are action oriented and do not really correspond to the elements of the problem. So for this these drawbacks, the new object oriented programming developed, and then so today procedure oriented programming, we have discussed object oriented programming, structured programming, software evaluation, and introduction of object oriented system. Next time we will discuss object oriented programming paradigm and object oriented programming language.